Glorious.
Glory lasts forever!
What's up, guys? Welcome back for some Glorious Smite. Today we're doing Guardians build guide for season 3. This will cover supports, solo guardians, jungle guardians, arena, joust, pretty much everything. In fact, let's just get out of the way now. Basically, the solo guardian build or the jungle guardian build is more or less what you would do in arena, joust, siege, clash, right? You basically just build bulky with CDR and pen. I'll explain why that is right now. So, build is so big. What do we see? Low base, but you know, you're a guardian. All your abilities do damage, it's nice. Plus 50% low scaling. Low base again, but it's CC. In fact, that's CC as well. It's a flip, that's CC. It's a knock up, low base 40%. 30% really low base. Really low scaling and really low base to 20, but it's an anti-heal and it's a heal. Very high base, very high base, and decent scaling. Actually, I'd say good. 80% above is probably good. So, and it regens mana. It's a slow, like holy shit. So those abilities are CC with low damage and low base, but they're all for CC. We look at Bacchus, 250 plus 70%. So again, low damage, low, decent base. 70% is decent, but it's a knockup. This is plus 60 eventually, as long as you don't get cancelled. So it's low scaling, low base, but it's an anti-heal and it ends in a stun. 550 is respectable. Plus 70% is again decent, but it's again strong CC. I think one of the biggest. Oh, we'll try this guy. He's quite known as Cabroton. 275 is we're getting better for the base. Plus 50% low scaling. 330 is high base, but with low scaling. But again, it's got CC as well. 550 is decent enough, and 70% is decent enough. But Ymir is probably one of the best examples of this. 370 is very high base, decent scaling. Low damage, low scaling, but strong CC. Stupidly high base damage, but it takes ages to charge it. And you've actually got high scaling as well. So most of these guardians all have the same thing in common. Decent or low base. Ymir are obviously the kind of exception here, but they usually come with CC. And then big ollies, right? So building power is just stupidly inefficient. You don't want power. What's the point in building all these big power items if you're only putting 30% onto your fucking ability, 40% or whatever the case may be? You're best building bulky with pen and cooldown, so you can use your abilities multiple times and pen to get the most out of them. And you want to be a frontliner, but still a threat in the 3v3s, in the jousts, in the arena, in the siege, right? So, as an example build, you'd most likely get. The bits honestly don't matter that much. Geb, Sylvanas, you'll get cooldown, but I think he wants Pem. If it's mainly Fizz, you'd grab something like this. You would grab Head of the Urchin. You would grab some more Pen, again, depends on the matchup. Maybe a Voidstone. If it's mainly magical, maybe grab a Bulwark. And then maybe a little bit more Pen in the form of a spear or something, but it depends on your team. If they've already got a spear, you might not need it. If they're super tanky, maybe an Obsidian, even though it doesn't play well with Voidstone, but you've got options, right? You basically, and it depends on how the enemies are built. If you're mainly focused on the mage, you've got enough pen as it is. So you can maybe even go more defense, right? So you just want to get some pen items, some CDR items, and like, let's build it up. Remember, this is unstacked Urchin, which gives you another plus 30, plus 30. So you would have 279, I'm stupid, and 283 with 2560. But with your 20 flat and your 10 flat, you would have 2 damage on the mage, right? Who is probably building full squish because mages are OP right now. And you get 35% CDR. That's pretty decent. That's kind of what you want. You're not a frontliner, but you're a threat. They're squishy anyway, but you're still a threat. Something you have to watch out for, and you're hard to kill for them because you've got all these protections, right? That's pretty decent. And I've got a shield as well, which give you a bonus 400 health, which takes you up close to the 3k mark. But other good items, of course, are Ethereal Staff. Depending on the matchup, you can get one of these items if it's in multiple ADCs. You can get, I already showed off, but we'll show off again. You can get Spear, Pen is your friend. You can go down any of the cloak items at all, depending on what one you want to get. You can go into the other hybrid items. If there's a lot of crit, this item is really good. 70 Fizz D is not to be underestimated. 60 Magic Power, no, it's not ideal, but it's anti-crit and it gives you bonus power again. It's a good item. It just doesn't work on a lot of gods. That's kind of its shortcoming. But you know, these are kind of what you want. You want hybrid items, pen, and protections, and CDR, right? And it's pretty much the same across all gods. So now if you were to play, say, as a support, right? So you're building support. Supports are naturally behind in gold. You're not actually going to struggle. Again, if you're on Geb or Sylvanas, you're not playing them in jungle, which I've done before. If you're playing them in support, you're going to get cooldown boots, right? But for backers with the big ulti and such, you're going to get the pen. But again, the boots, it really doesn't matter. The difference is so minor. Usually you would get breastplate here. You can't anymore. It's a mage meta now. Welcome to the burst. You can't go breastplate. If you go breastplate, the mage will kill you, right? The mage is just going to slaughter you. He's going to, if you've got boots and breastplate, he's got Doom Orb and pen boots. 140 power plus the, I think it's 40 odd, 45. So 185 power with 10 pen against your no HP, no magical defense, behind in gold, probably behind in level, support ass. You are going to get fucked hard. You can't do that. It's just, no, it's not feasible anymore. You need to go ahead to the Urchin. Get it stacked as fast as you possibly can, right? You can already see just the base, 114 by 83 is pretty good. But, you know, stack up as you go along. And eventually, full stacks, you'll get plus 30. That's good. From here, you can go one of two routes. Actually, one of three routes. What is causing you the most problems in the enemy team? Is it the physical? Is it the magical? Who's the enemy's best player? Is it the physical? Is it the magical? Is there more fizz to mages? And the Guardian doesn't count as a mage, so is it just the one mage in mid, and is it just like a Ra or something? Then you want more physical defense. If it's, say, Al Kwong jungle, then you can't just get physical defense, or like Freya jungle or some other thing, right? You can't. You just can't do it. So, or maybe the ADCs are Freya, or the Soul, or Kronos. Like, you can't do that either. So you're going to have to build balanced. So this tree is your best friend. Like, you could literally go every single item in this tree with boots and then some other item, and that would be good. That would be okay. Because mages are now such a threat, you kind of have to, right? So, pen boots, Urchin, is the mage a big threat? Yes or no? If yes, but you still need physical defense, you have to go into this. I used to not like this item. I still don't like it, I think it's bad. But I'm telling you to build it, and let me explain why. All the other items that were good got made bad, and now this bad item seems okay in comparison. It's still bad, but because everything else is bad as well, it's just less bad. And another reason it's less bad, of course, is it offers physical and magic protections, and mages are a threat now. I didn't like the amount of CDR it offered, but when all the other items don't really offer CDR, it's 15% is more than 10%, you know. That's the way to look at it. And I've never once used the passive, and I've built this item numerous times. It's never once done anything for me, but it might one day, maybe. And I'll remember that day that this item passive finally done something. I'll remember that day. But I don't know when it'll happen. So yeah, you would get this. Then from here, what is the biggest threat? Once again, your route is already set up for you. Is it a lot of ADCs or physical damage? You're going into one of these. A lot of ADCs, Spectral, or Nemean, either way. Is it just physicals in general, like ability base? You can grab the breastplate. Is it a mage in general, or do you think you just need more magic D? You're getting the bulwark. It's the best magic D item. Now you want another cheap item to kind of round off your build. We're going down everyone's best friend, the cloak tree. Grab Magi's. Boom, done. 3k HP, which is what everyone always wants. 264 plus 30 because you'll stack Urchin, and then 218 magical plus 30, and then you've got a 400 shield coming out off the bulwark, taking you up to 3-4 health, which is pretty nice. And with this build, you've got 35% CDR out of 40%, which means you can use your abilities more often, which is pretty good. Other items that are of course good for you in support, you build them when and if you need them. You can still get this. It's basically a lesser version of this. This passive does something occasionally, more than this passive, for fuck's sake, a lot more, but it's losing out in 2020 and 5%. But if you do get Spirit Robe, if you get Spirit Robe and Bulwark, you've got 40% crowd control reduction, which is the cap, which is really nice. Other items that are pretty good depending on the matchup, if you're ahead and there's a lot of mages, you can grab this. If they've got a healer, you can grab Pestilence, which offers 80, which is pretty decent. And that's more or less it. This item's still decent as well. The other item that is of course pretty decent still, which I don't always recommend to pick up because it offers just health, is of course Miller Null, 10% CDR, 350 health, but you also get a little bit of HP 5 with it, which is pretty nice. So yeah, these items are always matchup dependent, but this is a pretty strong kind of core supports build. I know what you're going to say, what about all the aura items? The aura items just suck. You buy the aura items for your team, but then you die and then there's nothing. Or you buy good items and you live and you help your team by CCing and applying some damage. Take your pick. Do you want the aura items that you're not going to get because the Guardian's dead? Or do you want an alive Guardian that's got some peel for you? Take your pick. You can't have both. Ultimately, I prefer an alive Guardian. So yeah, I will this is pretty good. Magi is really good now as well. You don't have to pick up in this order. The only thing I recommend is Urchins immediately after Boots. The rest is entirely matchup dependent. Use your brain. Think about it. Like I said, who's the biggest damage threat? Who's the biggest threat to you? What's the most damage in their team? Is it 2 legit mages? Is it just the 1? Is it 3 legit fizz? Is it just 2 or 1? And use that to change your build as and when needed and pick up what you need. It's simple. Oh yeah, and I suppose I should cover relics as well. So for your relic, right, you've got 4 good choices. Shell, obviously, it's just fantastic. I get it in jungle now all the time. It's just, no, I don't go without this. It's just too good. So Shell is always good. Sprint is surprisingly decent, but I feel your ADC are more likely going to get that, so you don't really need it. So again, that leaves you with Shell. Curse, if there's a lot of healers, you can almost certainly get this, and it's a damn fine pickup. The only downside is it's countered by Sprint, and Sprint is on a shorter cooldown, so that kind of sucks. And an item that a lot of people have forgotten about, but it's actually not bad, is Scout. I've actually been trying it out recently. I've played it with 2 games now, and it was not bad. You save a lot of gold, you get a lot of additional gold, because you're getting Ward Destroyed, which gives you 50 Gs. And again, it saves you gold, which is good as a support. So I mean, if you could get a Scout and then later on get Shell, it's still pretty good. Or if you're on an immobile god like Sylvanas or Ymir, you could get Scout and then Sprint, or Scout and then Blink. But I feel Blink is really hard to justify as a support, because if you get Scout and Blink, you're not really got a team fight active. Fair enough, other people might have it. If other people have it, it's fine. But it's hard to justify, really hard to justify. If you've got a lot of HP and you think you're going to build all HP, I actually do kind of like meditation. It's definitely viable. I just feel Shell. It's like, you know, it's good when I get it as jungle first time all the time. Just going, I'm getting Shell. Too good. It's just too good. I can't resist the call of Shell. It's just, it saves lives. It's so fucking good. It's never bad, and I just love it. Another one, of course, people are going to underestimate is Frenzy. The reason I don't like it is because it's not as good as Shell early game, but it's as good late game. But why would you take an item that's as good late but worse early? You'd rather have an item that's better than early and just as good late. Just, nah. 2% physical magic power is decent, but this, the reason this made it better, equal late, was the tower push. Without it, Shell's better. Shell. What I'm trying to say here, not by not saying anything, is Shell's so fucking good. That's it. That's what I want to say. Shell is so good, and you should pick it up. Never touch this shit. You shouldn't need this. You shouldn't need this. You shouldn't need this. No one should really need this. You won't want this. So yeah, basically Shell, maybe Curse. Shell, maybe Scout. Shell, maybe Sprint. And Shell, maybe Meditation. Just buy Shell, and we're good. We're golden. Just get the Shell. Who are you to resist the temptation of Shell? So yeah, that would be it. That would be the relics. That would be the builds. That would be everything covered. I don't really think I've got anything else to say here. So yeah, if you have any other questions, or you'd like to, you know, know about some secret build, or you've got some items you think might be good that I've not covered, let me know, I'll give you my thoughts, etc, etc, etc. As always guys, thanks for watching, and I'll see you all next time.